What's up everybody, my name is Astonishing Pix and welcome to another video. And today I'm excited to finally start filming my top 10 of the year action figures. And wow, it's been quite a year. I mean, I never knew I would collect as much as I would have had. And I'm excited to share what figures I've got for you guys to see, and you know what you guys think, and you know what are your top 10, etc. So these are just the figures that stood out to me. But before I share that, I'm gonna share my honorable mentions and maybe disappointments. So I'm gonna say, let's go with disappointments first. So my number 4 for disappointing action figures is the Black Series Commander Jesse. And wow, I really wanted to like this guy so much. I think that the sculpt and everything is okay neck down. I wish there was a little bit more articulation. I wish that the comma was, I guess, more of a cloth good instead of, you know, plastic, because I find that really restricting. Other than that, I think the articulation is okay and it's fine. The other thing that you guys probably will guess that I don't like is the helmet. Now, I don't really mind the helmet that much when it comes to like accuracy and everything like other collectors do, but I guess in this case, since you know he should be rocking the phase 2 helmet, it should be different. You know, it should have been easy repaint when it comes to Jesse. They have the mold and everything. I just don't know why they gave him that. So I thought that was pretty lazy on Hasbro's part, and I think it is kind of oversized and everything. So that's why he's probably like number 4 on my list. So coming in at number 3, we have the Marvel Legends Integrated Suit Spider-Man from the 3-pack. Wow, this guy he's okay, I guess. I do like that they did color the web lines in and everything. I guess that is an improvement. Articulation wise, and you know how stiff this figure is, I don't really like it, and I really don't like the design for the integrated suit either way. So he doesn't come with this head. This is for the new head that comes with the swinging Spider-Man. Again, this guy is just not doing it for me, so I'm probably gonna end up selling him one of these days or something like that, because again, this guy is not doing it for me. I don't really find this figure interesting at all. Coming in at number 2, we have the Marvel Legends Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And wow guys, when I say this, I really wanted to like this figure so much. I'm pretty sure y'all know that the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the Raimi films, are my favorite of all time, and I was looking forward to this guy for a long time. You know, I got the Toy Biz a while back ago, so that could like fill me up on the Spider-Man craze and everything. Like before No Way Home came out, I always wanted one of these guys, and you know, I thought, you know, maybe Marvel Legends will do it someday. I was hype. I remember when Shartimus Prime asked one of the Marvel Legends team members about, you know, making a figure of this guy, and you know, they'd be like, you know, it could always happen in the near future. So I was hyped for then on out, and unfortunately I don't think that the Marvel Legends did him any justice. From first glance, it looks pretty good. You know, the articulation with the diaphragm joint, lower ab crunch, you know, that should have given him a great articulation amount. But I think the hip joints and the, I guess, the stiffness and the lack of range, and I guess the design of the head is kind of like where it kind of fails me, because also the color palette too, it shouldn't be that bright. So that really disappointed me, and it's not a figure that I thought I would not like. I was hoping to like it more. And I know that they re-released this guy recently, single packed, so with the Tobey Maguire head sculpt, and again, it's not really that accurate either way, so it just disappointed me. I was hoping that they would do better. I hope Hasbro or the Marvel Legends team re-releases this guy in, I guess, maybe a Spider-Man 3 figure. Maybe they could give him an all-new sculpt, maybe a better head, at least a better head sculpt than this. And it's fine. It is textured well and everything. I'll give them props for that, but I just wish it was better. And coming in at number 1 for my most disappointed figure of 2023 is the Mayfix Scarlet Spider, and I'm guessing most of you probably did not see this coming. I regret buying this guy, and one of the reasons why, probably the only reason why, is that his arm pops off too easily. And yeah, it just pops off randomly. I can't really pose him the way I want him to, and I'm guessing it's just probably the figure that I got. So if I probably got a brand new one, I probably have no issues with it. So, but I unfortunately got stuck with this one, and I bought him at a Frankenstein store by Ageless Geeks, I believe, and it was kind of my fault. I should have looked at the packaging before I bought him. It did say it was like, I guess, pre-owned, so it was used already out of the box and everything, but I didn't know it had any problems or anything. And when I opened him up, coming back home from that place, I just found out that, that the arm was defective, and, the belt and everything was broken, so it wasn't really new like expected, and there's some scuffs here and there. So I did buy him used without like looking at it closely or more of it. And the worst thing is that I've paid full price for this guy. I paid, I want to say, like $95 for a used broken Scarlet Spider, and I don't think it's just worth it to go back and just say I want my money back. I should have read it. It's an okay figure, I guess. It's not that broken. It's not, like unplayable, but it's just disappointing to see that I bought him used and that the arm pops off easily. So yeah, I'm just not happy with this guy, and I don't know if I will ever buy from Ageless Geeks again, especially since that's at full price. So I feel like this figure should have been, since it was used and it's not pops off really easily, I think it should have been at least maybe $60, maybe less, because it's pre-owned or something like that. Anyways, let's get into the honorable mentions. Now, there are a lot of figures that did not make it into this list, or that I could not fit into this list, but I tried to stuff as many as possible. So coming in at number 7, we have the Marvel Legends Retro War Machine. Now, this guy is amazing. I like this guy so much. I didn't know I would like him that much. I don't collect Iron Man or any Iron Man related characters that much, and I thought that this was a pretty good addition to my Marvel Legends display, especially since he was, I believe, on the sale. So I was like, what the heck, why not get a War Machine that I need for my Marvel Legends shelves? I already got Iron Man, I just need a War Machine. So yeah, he's pretty good. He's packed with accessories, and he does have very cool functionality. You could bring his machine gun down, or his rocket launcher down too, move it around. It's articulated and everything. I guess I wish I would have gotten the one that had gunmetal instead of the white, but since this is the retro collection, it makes sense, and it was starting to grow on me either way. The only thing that I'm probably not hyped about this figure is probably the ab crunch. Now, it does fit into the aesthetic of the figure, so you couldn't really notice it. It's not really noticeable when you move it around or just look at it like that. So I'm happy to see how they integrated it, but it could have been better, and that's why it's my number 7. So at number 6, we have the Black Series Sabine Wren, and I think that this figure is pretty good. I always liked Sabine's character in Rebels, and I was happy to see that we got her in Ahsoka too, and I like the design of the figure, and I like the overall shape and everything. There are a few flaws. I would say mainly like the head sculpt underneath the helmet is left more to be desired, but I would say that this is probably a good figure when it comes to the accessory that she comes to, and the Ahsoka hype that was around the corner, the release time and everything. It all fit in perfectly. So coming in at number 5, we have the Marvel Legends Extremis Iron Man, and this is probably one of the better looking Marvel Legends that I like, and I wish it was more articulated too. Again, I think the paint job and everything is very minimal here, but I think it's okay. I wish that they had it more I guess metallic red to it, but I know that Hasbro won't do that and will just use the swirly twirly plastic, which I think it works fine here. I know that there are mods out there that, you know, they've pretty much articulated this lower joint so he could get more ab crunch or around there. So I wish that they added that, and yeah, I think the overall aesthetic is pretty good. The articulation is okay. The accessories, I think, would be left more to be desired, so I wish there was more, but it is what it is. And yeah, coming in at number 4, we have the Marvel Legends Ultimate Cap, and I think that this guy is awesome. I think I dig the aesthetics. I like how this figure looks. His articulation is pretty good. I'm glad that they gave him a diaphragm joint, although I do wish that it was more articulated than it is, and it's just disappointing to see that he can't really get that much movement out of his diaphragm joint. I think the head sculpt and the paint job looks awesome for what you're paying for, and I'm just glad I got this guy when I saw him. Cap is not really one of my favorite heroes, so you know, that says a lot about the figure. I was recording a review about him, but you know, I just kind of lost track of time and never released it, and I don't think I'm gonna release it anytime soon because, you know, the figure's been out for like a few months now, and you know, it's all late. I don't think there's any interest in seeing a full-fledged review of this guy, but I do like his accessories, like his free hand and the other face expression that he does have, which is pretty good, and his shield. I know that the Marvel Legends community isn't too happy or excited about the system that they have for attaching the shield and everything, and I could see why, and you know, I just wish that was better too. So coming in at number 3, we have the Black Series Darth Maul. I think that this figure looks amazing. I know I'm gonna say that a lot about mostly every figure, but I do really like this guy, and I dig the design that they went for. I know that this figure is, I think, mostly all new sculpt. I don't know about the torso though, because this part is an overlay, and I'm not sure if they used that part before underneath for the shirtless Darth Maul that they released a while back ago. But I think that the head sculpt and every other sculpt here is 100% new, so he does move well and everything. I just wish that he stood better. The detents on his ankle joints are hard to stand, so he falls a lot, so that's the only thing that I wish that was different. As far as his lightsaber goes, I think that I wish that they give him better grip hands, because he doesn't really hold it well, and when he does, the lightsaber is usually bent, and I don't really like that because it might break and everything. So coming in at number 2, we have the Black Series Clone Trooper, and I want to say that this guy and also the 501st and any other variants they released on this new body is probably at my number 2 for honorable mentions, because you know, they're all clones. They're all basically the same, just with a splotch of color. So this guy does have an improvement when it comes to his articulation and his aesthetics. I only wish that the helmet was different, but yeah, this guy is really good when it comes to proportions and articulations. They have done so many upgrades, especially with the face and the sculpt and the functionality when it comes to the knee pads and everything. So I appreciate Hasbro for updating this body, and I also do like the clone commandos that also released this year, like Scorch. He is probably one of my favorite looking clones of 2023, so I'm just gonna put him in the same category because, again, they're all clones and this is my list. So yeah. And coming in at number 1, we have the Duels and Darth Vader. Now this guy has really impressed me so much, and I never knew that Hasbro could produce a high quality figure like this. And I know that most of it is probably like reuse and everything, but I think that this figure looks so good, especially with the cloth and everything, and the mask, the sculpt, the gloss and everything. I know right now he kind of looks a little bit dusty because I had him on the shelf, so I didn't have time to clean him, but I think that he looks amazing when it comes to the sculpt and the detail, especially the broken part here of his mask. you could probably see more in my review. Okay guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. And while you guys already saw my dishonorable mentions and my honorable mentions, now it's time to get into the top 10. And wow, this is quite a list that I put together, and you're gonna notice a recurring theme, kind of, I guess. I had to change a lot for my top 10, and I couldn't fit more figures in. I mean, I could technically, but you know, it's a top 10 for a reason. So, you know, I just keep it straightforward. And again, a lot of people like to do, you know, like specific brands. Like I've seen people do top 10 higher end figures, or top 10 Marvel Legends, or top 10 I guess Black Series, or you know, specific stuff like that. You know, I get it why they do things like that. You know, but you know, I think something a little bit more generalized would I think it's better. You know, you cover all grounds. But there is this problem where you can't really cover enough. There is a lot of stuff you like, but at the same time it makes you think what figures you really like and what figures were an absolute joy to handle and play or take pictures of. So this is my top 10. Okay, so for my number 10, the SH Figure Arts 91 Godzilla. And wow, you know, this is probably my first SH Monster Arts, so I'm quite impressed with what I got. And again, I got him like really recently, so I had to make some changes on my list. And you know, I think that this is pretty much worth it. You know, I think he looks movie accurate. He moves more than I would say a NECA figure does, or what they did in the past. And I just like the overall sculpt and the articulation. And again, articulation could be better, but I understand that the anatomy of this figure is kind of hard to work around, considering he is a thick boy. But yeah, I mean, what's not to like? I think he is a long figure, especially with that tail that has a lot of ball joints and everything. So I think that that's pretty impressive. It does kind of detach pretty easily though, so if you ever want to get this guy, be aware. The only drawback that I guess I don't like is the fact that he was so expensive, and I kind of regret buying him at that kind of price point. I should have just went somewhere else and bought it, but that's my own fault. So I paid around like, I think $150 for him, and I think I would have got him like maybe $130 somewhere else. Still expensive, especially since he doesn't come with a lot of accessories. Okay, so coming in at number 9, I have the Marvel Legends Final Swing Spider-Man. And wow, you know, again, I have to move things around a lot, and this guy came in recently, and it is quite an impressive figure. And I thought, you know, it looks better than I thought it would have. And again, I am just surprised what Marvel Legends did. When I saw the promo shots and everything, I was kind of iffy. I was like, the SH Figure Arts looks 100 times better than this, and this looks lanky. It looks, you know, it doesn't look as good as I thought it would. So I was like, maybe I'll skip on that and then pay the $80 for the SH Figure Arts. But again, I saw it, and you know, I was like, what the heck? And also my cousin, he wanted it for his birthday, so once I saw it go up on the Target app, I was like, you know, I'll just snatch 2, and if I like it, you know, I'll keep it, and if I don't, I'll just sell it. But yeah, it turns out it's pretty good, and the sculpt is pretty good. The only thing that I don't like about it is, I would say, is probably I guess the paint, the blue paint. It is kind of metallic, but I wouldn't say it isn't enough. The paint could be better on the blue. Well, I don't know if it's paint, maybe it's just blue plastic, but the swirly twirly type. But I think that this is a pretty good figure. He does come with his usual accessories. I think he comes with wall crawling hands, and he does come with his flip hands and his fist, and he does come with the Tom Holland head. And I've heard some people complain that, you know, it's a younger Tom Holland head, so It should have come with an older one, and I'm inclined to agree, but you know, it's still a pretty good Tom Holland likeness, so I'm okay with it. And yeah, the articulation and everything, so this figure has won me over in that regards, and I don't feel the need to buy the more expensive SH Figuarts one, which mind you still looks pretty good, but you know, this is a nice alternative option if you want to spend a little bit less. Coming in at number 8 is the Black Series Ahsoka Tano, and yeah, she is a pretty good figure, and again, she's kind of pretty small for what I expected, but you know, I think she's more in scale than the Mandalore version of her outfit. That one just reused some parts from a Rebels appearance, and that was kind of an irksome thing to see, considering, you know, she was younger and everything, and she did not quite scale with Anakin. She was pretty much on par with him in terms of height, which we all know is not accurate. And you know, placing her with the SH Figuarts Anakin, I think that fits well. So I'm glad I didn't have to go buy the Black Series Anakin or try to go find him. So I'm glad I got, you know, this one that's more in scale, and it looks just as good. I think maybe a little bit better in terms of skin tone and, you know, the details and everything. Not to discredit the other one, but this is an all-around improvement. The articulation is good. She is kind of hard to stand though, but yeah, I think she does her iconic pose well. She could cross her arms pretty well, so I think that, you know, this is pretty good. This is as good as it'll get. Coming in at number 7, we have the Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man figure, and I think that this looks pretty good also, whereas the integrated suit and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, where those two kind of failed me and kind of disappointed me, I think that this, while it didn't quite make up for the 3-pack, I think that this is probably the best one that came out of that 3-pack, and the one that you could buy single-cardedly now. So if you see him, and you know, he comes now with his Andrew Garfield head, so I would recommend you guys get him and not skip out. This is a pretty good figure. He does come with his standard accessories too. Unfortunately, I got it from Animated Heroes, I believe, but he did say that his hands were missing, considering that Hasbro, I guess, did not pack them right, so I don't blame him. But you know, I just wanted this 3-pack already because I wanted to see how the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield figures were. So yeah, big shout out to him because he provided me that. So again, this figure is amazing with the sculpt and everything. It is a little bit darker than, you know, I would have liked, but I think that this is a pretty good look for him. Coming in at number 6, we have the Black Series Cad Bane. And what can I say? This figure is, again, a pretty good looking figure. The sculpt is there. The paint is kind of there, even though it's just pretty much a mixture of browns and blues and silvers. So it's all there. I think the face sculpt looks pretty good too. And it is kind of confusing to see which way the hat goes, and it does kind of pop off easily, but you know, it's still there. Again, he doesn't really shine much in articulation, but in looks he's there. I don't know what kind of pictures I'll have him in yet, but he is a pretty good looking figure that goes on the shelf pretty well as an adversary to Boba Fett. So yeah, I mean, he's just amazing, an amazing looking alien character. And again, Hasbro usually does well with alien characters, so again, props to them. And you know, this is a pretty good banger. Unfortunately, he was released with the Cobb Vanth, and I'm not saying Cobb Vanth is a terrible character or anything. I like him. It's just that I don't think he's a very toyetic type character or toy to play with. He's just kind of there, like he is kind of like boring. But his head is good fodder. So I know that I kind of wish that it was a little bit more bigger, so I could make that Ghostface custom, because the actor did play Ghostface in one of the movies. So I think I got him when it was on sale, I think a few months back. So I pretty much paid like $27, which is crazy for the 2-pack. And you know, it just comes to show if you just wait a little bit long, you might get a good deal on like some figures and everything. So yeah, coming in at number 5, I have the NECA Chucky. And for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna show you some footage of the review. I couldn't find him. I thought I put him somewhere, but I guess he's not there. I don't know where he is. It's like he got up and walked off, so I'm not lying. It is a pretty good figure. You get a lot of his accessories, which is pretty good considering, you know, that NECA shines when it comes to accessories and it comes to the overall detail and sculpt, which again is no exception to this figure. So if you want a good Chucky, I recommend this one. He is from the TV show, so I don't know if you'll like the look of it. I know that there is different iterations of Chucky, but to be honest, with me, it all kind of looks the same. I know that there are differences, so I acknowledge that. But I think that is a pretty good Chucky, and you'll enjoy yourself, especially with the NECA aesthetic and everything. So yeah, the only drawbacks, I guess, is that he doesn't come with a stand, and his like ankle articulation is kind of weak. Also, the paint chipping in the joint area is kind of a downer. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good figure, and I'm glad to have him as my number 5 on my list this year. Okay, so keeping it with NECA, then for the number 4, we have the creature from the Black Lagoon from NECA. And again, this is an amazing figure, and again, the detail is amazing. And it took me a while to find him. Actually, I thought I would get lucky and find him in the stores. The real reason I got this guy is because Parallel Universe. I blame him. This figure is awesome, and again, the articulation is there, which is something that we all didn't expect, I would say. But you know, watching the review and everything, you know, I was like, wow, this is a pretty good looking figure. And again, the design is interesting. I actually went back to watch the movie, and it was okay. It's pretty good considering it was made back in the 50s, I believe. But yeah, the figure is awesome. The detail is there, the paint, and like I said, the articulation. He does come with several different heads. His mouth, one of his heads has a mouth that could like open, which is pretty cool. And I didn't expect him to have this level of articulation. I thought it'd be like maybe like a basic 90 degrees and everything. And yeah, again, it's just there. There's like a metallic gold kind of brush to it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's there. It's there, and I wanted to upload a review of this guy, but you know, the time never came. So I don't know. I think I might still upload this. I don't know how relevant it would be, but again, don't skip out on this guy. I recommend you guys get him, or maybe get the black and white version that is, I think, that already released or is on the way, I think. But yeah, I recommend this guy. Coming into my top 3, now this was not easy. Of course, there are a lot of great figures out there and figures that I wish that I put on the list. Number 3 is the Marvel Legends Earth Mightiest Heroes, or I think it's Beyond, Black Widow figure. And again, there's a lot to say about this figure. This figure is really impressive. That, you know, it has a brand new body mold. It has pretty much improved articulation than what the standard female body would have had otherwise, like before. I think that the latest one before this one was the Shriek body mold, which had double jointed elbows and the pinless joints and everything. But the one thing that they improved on would be the torso area. And again, you could really pretty much get really far with the articulation with this. But again, the torso articulation with that inverse ab crunch and the diaphragm joint, you could pretty much get a pretty good crouching pose. More articulation, maybe like, you know, she's jumping from the air or something like that. again, just pretty much improved articulation and with a lot of accessories. I think she was considered a deluxe figure, and I think she was maybe like around like $29.99 or $30. But considering we got a new sculpt and a lot of accessories and everything, I thought that it was pretty much worth it. If I'm being honest, I thought it was reasonably priced for what we were getting, so I have no complaints whatsoever. I wish more Marvel Legends came like that, with packed a ton of accessories. She came with multiple hands, her wrist gauntlets too, with a lot of special effects, her 2 guns with a suppressor and one without, and like I said, several more heads that evoke kind of like different eras of her design. I think we have like the kind of like first appearance or like vintage style with that like weird bangs and everything, but it still looks good. But she's like smiling, so it's kind of weird considering she is kind of like an assassin, more serious type character. But we also got the I would say it's like more recent, like she has like shorter hair and she looks more like way more like blank face, like serious, like she's gonna like kill you or something. But yeah, again, we also got this one. I would say that this is pretty much a classic rendition look of her. But yeah, the photo reel is there and everything, and again, I highly recommend this figure. I know that this figure made it into a lot of top 10s, and I would say that this is a pretty much a revolutionary figure, I would say, when it comes to like the female body mold articulation and everything. So I hope we see more of the reuse when it comes to the body mold, the ab crunch and everything, because I know a lot of female figures could use that. So yeah. Okay, and coming in at number 2, I had to put him up here. It's the Marvel Legends Green Goblin from No Way Home. And wow, this guy is amazing. And again, it's pretty much impressed me. Again, this is a figure that I pretty much anticipated for the longest time. Going back to the old Sam Raimi movies, I always wanted a Green Goblin figure, and I know that Toy Biz came out with some of them, and they haven't aged well, I would say. And if they are selling some, it's pretty much an expensive show, a lot of money to pay. So when I saw the promo pictures of this guy coming out, I was like, I can't wait. I know that Figure Arts was coming out with one too, but that one retails for like, I think $130. I mean, you're pretty much getting accessories, I guess, like a better articulation, and also like I would say like a much more clean glider with more hands and everything. But this came with the glider, obviously, and it also came with the pumpkin bomb, also with the head, and then the Willem Dafoe head that had like that good smiling face that we all love. And the Figure Arts came with the kind of like a blank face. Like, pretty much they're known for their blank faces. Like, they always make like a resting type face, like a serious face. Now, I know that this figure is not perfect, and obviously a lot of people are gassing this up. Again, the only thing that's a drawback is I guess I wish there was like a more paint apps in the back and everything. And I do wish that they didn't give him like a pudgy belly, and I wish the articulation was a little bit better, especially with the leg articulations. Maybe like give him like a boot swivel or maybe feet swivel. But other than that, I think that is a pretty good figure, and it hasn't disappointed me at all. And I'm pretty happy with this guy. And coming in at number 1, I'm pretty sure some of you guys would guess it. It is the SH Figure Arts Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Going back to the Raimi films, I always wanted a good Spider-Man figure, and I'm glad I got him. I know that SH Figure Arts, out of both the Marvel Legends and they did the better job with the masks. They did the better job with the coloring, the sculpt, the paint, everything. Accessories, they gave us a pretty good Tobey Maguire head, or heads I should say. So yeah, this guy is like all around pretty good, well articulated. And the only thing I wish that it didn't have was like that loose hip, or hips I would say. Now it's not showing it, but it usually is. Again, this guy is impressive. This guy is impressive with what he has, and everything. And you know, I got the Tobey Maguire, the Toy Biz one. I didn't buy it when it came out, but I got it in a trade, and you know, it is serviceable, but you know, you could tell that it's aged up. And again, the Marvel Legends, it was kind of disappointing because it wasn't what I expected. If I didn't get this guy, then I probably would have liked the other one, the Marvel Legends, even more. Like I said, the accessories is there, the sculpt is there. I can't really complain about this, except for the crotch area. So but other than that, I think that Mayfix, with their upcoming release, I know that they're releasing a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2. I'm pretty sure that one's gonna blow both the SH Figure Arts and the Marvel Legends out of the water, considering that, you know, they often do things way better, especially with their hip, so it looks more seamless. So when that comes out, I'll pre-order it there on the spot, because when it comes to like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he will always be my Spider-Man. But yeah, this is my number 1, and I want to know what you guys think. What are your top 10? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? You know, I just want to know all that kind of stuff. And yeah, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. And I can't wait to see what more we get in the following year. So yeah, peace.